Rockets here at home in this Western Conference matchup live here in Houston. Welcome to our 2K Sports broadcast. Kevin Harlan here with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg bringing you the NBA on a Monday afternoon. And it's time to check the starting five brought to you by State Farm. And one of the guys we'll be seeing in this one, James Harden.
Well, it's no easy task guarding James Harden because he's got the ability to shoot from long range and then the strength and the ball handling ability to get into the paint and keep the defender on his hip and get all the way to the rim.
Well, Steve, Harden is one of the stronger two guards in the NBA, and when he attacks the rim, he has no problems throwing his body into some bigger guys to draw contact and finish the play. That makes him special.
First game of this trip here for the Hornets. They're hoping to start it off with a W. They're facing a lot of challenges, fellas, in this upcoming part of the schedule. They're faced with a lot of tough battles away from home.
And, you know, what they've been doing lately is one of the most impressive things we've seen in the NBA season so far. Hard to think of any team that's played better during this current winning streak.
And, Steve, I don't think there's any end in sight. I mean, with the attitude they're bringing onto the court.
Hello, YouTube. This is a Sim Basketball operator bringing you an NBA 2K13 My Career commentary. And in this game, we are going against the Houston Rockets and Dwight Howard. Now, with all of these acquisitions, well, mainly Dwight Howard, it takes the Houston Rockets to that next level. However, they still have a gaping hole at power forward. The options are Donatas Motiejunas, Terrence Jones, Greg Smith, and so on. You know, it's not looking too good. And as shown in Orlando, Dwight Howard needs some help in the front court. He can't just be the only guy protecting the paint, rebounding, scoring in the paint. And so starting Omer Asik and Dwight Howard I don't think is very optimal because Asik is a center. I do believe that Dwight Howard needs a new running mate, maybe trading Asik for a better player or extreme development from one of those young guys I previously named. But something has to be done. And so that leads me to the question of asking, how do you surround your stars? And in this case, and in real life, the Houston Rockets have two. They have Dwight Howard, and they have James Harden. Now, the Rockets have chosen to surround those guys with some players who they signed previously, in Jeremy Lin and Omer Asik. They also drafted Chandler Parsons, and it seems like a pretty strong unit. Some people doubt whether Jeremy Lin can take full point guard responsibilities and leading or living up to that contract, but he seems like a decent point guard. Nothing wrong there, but again, they have a hole. And so do you opt for one of those guys who are very skilled, or do you opt for like three players like, say, the skill caliber of Tony Allen? Maybe different, not just defensive specialists, but three-point shooters and whatnot. So if you have two stars, you can surround it with decent talent, both in the rest of the starting lineup and on the bench. Now, the Miami Heat have chosen to fix their gaping position by getting defensive specialists. So the center position, when Bosch doesn't start there, that's where it's occupied. And even with Bosch at center and LeBron at power forward, they choose to start Shane Battier at small forward to again provide that defense. And at point guard, Mario Chalmers is one of the better defenders at the point guard position, and he really rounds out that team. He provides shooting as well, and good leadership, even though it's not really needed when you have LeBron and Dwayne Wade who can both bring up the ball. Now, a team that has struggled has been the New York Knicks, and they've had some really good talent, but Amari Stoudemire hasn't been able to live that contract. Iman Shumpert had a down year. They traded away Steve Novak for Bargnani. I don't know how big of an improvement that is. And there's just, the list goes on and on. They have J.R. Smith, the sixth man of the year. But the Knicks lack something called defensive help. And without Marcus Camby, the retirement of Rasheed Wallace, Tyson Chandler can't do it alone. You can't expect to have just one guy back up your whole team. It just doesn't work that way. And so the Knicks still have a lot of work to do. Going on to the Thunder, you have to be able to spend money if you have stars like that who need to be paid like stars. Now, if they just had Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook, they could get away with trying to stay under the cap. But if they don't pay that luxury tax, then they're not going to have the greatest chance, because in today's day and age you kind of need to pay that luxury tax to win championships. The Spurs, on one hand, they've been able to avoid it, but then again, recently as their stars begin to age, they haven't been able to finish off good regular seasons and good playoff runs. Now, the Thunder can opt to first get rid of Kendrick Perkins' contract if there's anyone willing to take it. It's just such a horrendous contract. It makes me laugh. It really you think about that Jeff Green trade. Originally I thought the Thunder won because Serge Ibaka was rising and I thought they could have used a center, but I wasn't taking into account to that ridiculous salary that Kendrick Perkins has. And now the Thunder are stuck with no Harden, no Kevin Martin, and really no third scorer. I don't count Ibaka in this. He doesn't get enough touches, low post touches, to be that commanding presence. So for teams that like the Cavaliers and like the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have young stars, they really need to think of how they surround them. Hopefully they can surround them well and build a championship. So at the end of the first half, the Rockets have a 6-point lead in this game against the New Orleans Hornets, and I'll be back with play-by-play after the break.
Now, presented by Sprint.
This is 2K Sports. I hope your week is off to a good start on this Monday.
Alright, so getting to the game, the Rockets have two weapons that they don't have in real life. One is Tony Douglas, who is the starting point guard for some reason. I don't know if Jeremy Lin's hurt. And they also have this guy named Darius White, this rookie who is way beyond measure better than our rookie, but he has the funniest jump shot you'll ever see. I have some clips of that later, and I think one in the first half. So getting into the game, I'm getting swatted by Chandler Parsons. That's not fun. James Harden's pushing it up the break. They've got a 6-point lead just like at halftime, and Harden is just knifing his way in, and Chandler Parsons hits this ridiculous layup, making me wonder how I got my shot blocked and he didn't. But I'm running down the court, no one can catch me. Actually, everyone just fell asleep, and I get the easy dunk. Now here's Patrick Patterson trying an up and under. I hope they fix that in 2K14, because I hate having to use it. And I try to lob it to Eric Gordon, but Dwight Howard says no, not in my house. And now Harden's making me pay by giving it back to Patterson, who travels in for the dunk. And literally, I mean travel, because he catches the ball and then just takes like 5 steps before elevating and smashing on Eric Bledsoe. That was a vicious dunk. It's getting the crowd hyped. One of the better dunk animations I've seen, minus the travel. He should have been taking a dribble. And Patrick Patterson goes to the line and knocks down the free throw. So we call a timeout. It's a 9-point lead. Now it's a 13-point lead. Eric Gordon's at the free throw line. He's going to shoot it up and knock it down. I'm getting subbed out. I have 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists at this point. 58% shooting. It's a little bit lower than my average. And I also have 3 turnovers already. You saw the turnover problems in the first half. And now the Rockets have the ball back. They're running a play out of bounds. Tony Douglas giving it to Dwight Howard for some reason, who is dribbling. And now he's going to come off a screen. What are the Rockets doing? But instead it gets Royce White wide open. I didn't know we switched. I'm not going to watch that replay. Now here we go. Tony Douglas to James Harden. Harden's going to miss a shot pretty badly. But Tony Douglas is wide open at the 3-point line. Takes one dribble in and knocks it down. Still a double-digit Houston lead. Now here's Harden. And the shot clock. Manufacturing a shot against Marshawn Brooks. And he gets that to go. Now it's a 10-point lead at the end of the half. What kind of jump shot is that? He just like drops one arm and throws up his right arm. I have no idea. But it gives them a 12-point lead. Heading into the fourth quarter, the score is 83-71. Our defense has to step up. Our offense has to step up. We have to step up if we want to get back in this game. Now here we go. Darius White now posting up. He's going to hit a little fade, and again the same ugly jump shot. I mean, it's not like incredibly ugly in terms of form, but it's just so weird just shooting with one hand like that. But I'm slicing and dicing through the defense, getting that Euro step. However, for every offensive attack I have, the Houston Rockets come back and mash like that right there by Dwight Howard. still one of the better finishers in this game. Anthony Davis can't get a hand on it. It was very poor positioning on the pick and roll. And that's something Houston Rocket fans can look forward to, seeing James Harden and Dwight Howard work together in these situations. Now here's Patrick Patterson, who is currently a member of the Sacramento Kings. The ball finds its way to Tony Douglas, and he's just going to drain that three. He's taking a lot of shots, and so some of them are bound to go in. Now here's Darius White barely catching that ball. Again, back to Douglas, and he's going to miss that three. I get the block. Very nice to see. Gordon's going to bring it up court, and he's going to swing it over to me for three. Bang! It's down to a 13-point lead. I have up to 35 points now. It's very good. Here's Grievous Vasquez. What are you doing? It's an open shot, but just take a normal jumper. And here I'm pressing Tony Douglas in the backcourt. He's not known for his ball handling skills, and it's shown here as he turns it over. Gordon with the steal up to me, and I'm going to dunk it on Tony Douglas. He tried to block me. What is he doing? I get fouled and one. Great anticipation by Gordon. Poor help by the Rockets to help out their point guard. And a pretty spectacular finish by me. And I start doing push-ups. I wish they could have shown that a little bit more. As I go to the free throw line to try to whittle this lead down even more. And the free throw is up. And as always, it's good. So I'm down by 12, or I should say the New Orleans Hornets are down by 12. As I'm trying to drive on James Harden off the pick and roll, and I'm able to get out my shot, and I am on fire. So with a minute and 50 seconds after my dunk, it sparked a run. We're only down by 5. Here is Dwight Howard and Patrick Patterson trying to run a double screen play, and oh, Anderson should have picked that off. That was not a good pass, but Dwight Howard gets the dunk, and I can't do anything about it. Now we're down by 6. I'm backing down Chandler Parsons. Here comes the double. I have nowhere to go, but a great cut by Eric Bledsoe. Beautiful find by me. And we knock this down to a 4-point lead. Timeout Houston. With 40 seconds left, the score remains the same. Here's Chandler Parsons on Eric Gordon. He's going to drive. And oh, no one picks up Dwight Howard. And I get knocked on my butt. That's just not good. It's a 5-point lead. Gordon kicks it to Bledsoe, who gives it to Davis with a nice finish. It's only a 3-point game. Now with the Rockets have the ball, Chandler Parsons is going to look to inbound it to someone who can hit free throws, but instead they run a play to get Dwight Howard open, but it takes us a little while to foul him. So that's not good. So Dwight Howard's going to go to the line, and he hits the free throw. Maybe they intentionally wanted to give it to Dwight knowing we foul him. And he hits both free throws. Who knew Dwight was so clutch? And now it's a 5-point lead with 4 seconds left. This game is pretty much over. Given to Gordon. Yeah, he turns it over. What are we doing? We lose by 5. Kind of heartbreaking, but we fell back early. And we didn't move quickly enough to surmount the deficit. So Gordon is just like talking to Dwight Howard there. Not sure what he's trying to accomplish. 2K liked my performance. Got 200 VC. Couldn't get the dynamic goals done. Now looking at some stats, Dwight Howard had 22 points, only 6 rebounds, but 2 steals and a block. Tony Douglas had 22 points on 6 of 21 shooting, 4 of 15 from deep. James Harden with 21, 7, and 8. Patrick Patterson with 17 and 9. And I somewhat held Parsons to 13, but Darius White came off the bench and gave them an efficient 12. Me, myself, I had 42 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks. Anthony Davis had 22 points and 8 rebounds. Eric Gordon with 13 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Ryan Anderson with 11 points and 6 rebounds. But that was it. It just wasn't enough. And looking at some team stats, other than points in the paint, we pretty much got dominated. Anyways, this is a Sim Basketball Operator. More association and my career videos on the way. Please look out for 2K14, and I will see you guys all next time.
You ended up with 11 rebounds. Even in the loss, can you use your performance on the glass to build upon moving forward?
Yeah, man, I'm always looking for something to build off of, even in a loss. Tonight it was rebounding. Next game, who knows? Even in a loss like this, you can't take the mindset that nothing went right. That's just defeatism. If you want to look for ways to improve your game, you have to be able to see what you did right as well as what went wrong. So rebounding was definitely a plus for me out there, regardless of the score. Just wish we could have had a win to go with it. You feel me?